It is really challenging. I'm not sure if it is rewarding because once you're a champion, I don't know what you get out of that apart from the trophy, unless I am one. So when I become one, I will have a better answer to say, really, is it rewarding? Is it something that shapes your career? I am unsure.
Mapper Forward is bringing a new perspective to the Japanese coffee industry with Mapper Forward Japan. Every 2 weeks, we're highlighting a selected series from the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, translated and available in Japanese on our YouTube channel. Follow along on our new Instagram account, Mapper Forward Japan, where we'll share industry commentary, episode clips, and market updates all in Japanese. And if you're in the Japanese coffee industry, join our mailing list for updates and exclusive content also in Japanese. All the details are at mapperforward.coffee/Japan, and we'd love you to share this information with your Japanese friends in the coffee industry. Check the show notes for details. Welcome to the Mapper Forward Middle East podcast, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 4 of a really fun series with I'm trying to pick the order that I'm going to say your names, On, Purity and Ron from Raw Coffee Company here in Dubai, the UAE. We are talking about how a coffee career in the Middle East has changed their lives. Let's get spicy, folks, because in this episode, we're going to talk about the complexity of coffee competitions. Now, who of you three has competed?
I have.
Purity?
Have as well. Aeropress.
Just there.
Yes.
Okay, so you have competed in Aeropress. Talk to me about the role or the importance that coffee competitions plays in the Middle East.
That's a tough one. I feel like with competition, it really depends who you're asking, because it can vary from one individual to another. I started off competition out of curiosity, really. So I did an AeroPress and somehow I enjoyed it and it was rewarding. So I kept going. I thought if I did that, it was challenging, yes. And it is not glamorous, yeah. It is, some competitions can tend to be very expensive and very time consuming. So yes, there is maybe the glory that comes with being a champion. I have not been one yet, but there must be. I'm thinking for the champions, there must be a glory in being one, but it comes with a lot of commitments financially, commitments with time. Again, if you're working a 9 to 5, and if you're full-time employed, so that cannot be easy. And also there is the long hours and the sleepless nights and the sourcing of the coffee. So it is really challenging. It is really challenging. I'm not sure if it is rewarding because once you're a champion, I don't know what you get out of that apart from the trophy, unless I am one. So when I become one, I will have a better answer to say, really, is it rewarding? Is it something that shapes your career? I am unsure.
Would it surprise you to know that every national champion that I've spoken to has said that they were suicidal at one point or another after competing?
Oh, that I think I watched Sasa's documentary when he was competing. At some point he was really, really sick, and still he had to perform because he was in the nationals. So that won't surprise me. Really, it's draining. It can be very...
It's not about being draining. It's at the end of, once they've won,
that's it.
And then they go to the international competition and they lose. What people are chasing in competitions is being the best. And they're chasing being admired. And they're chasing... So a lot of competitors say, very similar to what you're saying, Purity, this idea of, you get to push yourself, you get to learn and have a really great experience. But also there's a part of it where you get a lot of attention. And that can turn into a kind of a drug. for some people, depending on what your personality type is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're always chasing that, there comes a time where after the competitions are finished, you're still left with just yourself and no praise, no, crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have to sit with the noise that's in your head. And the loneliness that comes from that is when national champions have spoken to me about what that felt like. Every single one of them that I've spoken to has said that they thought about it. It was so lonely afterwards
Mm-hmm.
that they realized chasing that trophy, like you were saying, Purity, you've got a trophy,
Mm-hmm.
but then the next person in the next year is also going to have a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing that you're chasing, this being the top of everything, isn't quite what it's cracked up to be. There's a pressure that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it really fascinating when people get to be a national champion and then they get approached to be the face of a business. If you don't know how to run a business, the stress involved in that is just unfair.
Mm.
Really, really unfair. But you raise so many great questions with that, Purity. This idea of like, what comes? Like, is it this, like, is the pasture greener on the other side once you've done all of this? Because only one person gets to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's I want to ask On and Ron. I promise I won't do that very much often. But I want to ask you guys, what's it like for you guys watching this competition environment? Why don't you compete? In an industry that kind of invites everyone to be a part of this obsession with competition here, why don't you compete?
Okay, so for me, to be really honest, when I started this journey, I was chasing the competition as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I want to compete and look up to those whatever the barista champion, or for me, I'm more into like brewing, so I want to take part into like one of those competition. But I haven't done one yet. But I have done some like just AeroPress competition, which was fun, more like that. I never won as well, but from time to time, I see like it's not about the talent that you have in coffee. You gotta have like some a nice support, I would say. Right place to chase those competition as well. Yeah, and also I've seen those people who's competing. Like it takes so much effort. It's very inspiring, and at the same time takes so much stress and pressure at the same time. And again, like what Purities was mentioned before, like what is after? I mean, the trophy, right?
Right.
And like from time to time, I was like kind of self-aware that it's more about chasing external validation. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. So for now, if you ask me like what you're gonna do in coffee, I mean, I would say that I'm happy that I know how to make a good cup of coffee to myself or to the people who I love. Yeah. That's where I'm being content and happy in the meantime. Yeah. Rather than the competition. Yes.
Because somebody who's going to hire you just because you're a national champion is hiring you because for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
Then they're not really hiring you for very much else. And that's quite an empty hire, in my opinion. Because that means that when they find someone who's more popular than you, they'll replace you.
That's true.
Something for people to think about who are out there listening to this thinking, I have to become a barista champion, or I have to compete so that people will know who I am. If you're good at your job, you'll get hired.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to find people who are good at their jobs in this industry. What about you, Ron? Why don't you compete?
I don't think it's you have to do a competition to prove yourself. For me, it's all about the process. What happens? So, competition is good for the exposure. Yes. For me, it's I like the competition. It's not anything bad about the competition, but the process when you went through to participate in a competition is all about the stressful nights before the competitions. I would say the time you spend to make a really good cup of coffee. So from there you can see like how far you can take the coffee experience. So it's all about growing the coffee culture, I would say. I never think myself as a front of the people, I would say. So it's all, but I love the process of learning. So thing about competition, I think behind the scene, how much time you spend to learn is the most crucial thing.
Right.
For yourself also, like whoever is supporting you as a competitor, for everyone it's a very good time for them.
Right. Which I guess people can do without having to compete. Like when, you could do it in the workplace.
Yeah.
Where you all like have cupping sessions together, give each other feedback, and do that obsessively. If the same way that you would do it in competitions is something that you could absolutely do if you wanted to learn that. I have a really interesting question. How do you guys feel about the fact that if you become a national champion, the passport that you hold might mean that you can't go to the World Barista Champion?
Yeah, that is something actually it's a conversation we've always had. Because again, as we were talking about Dubai being a diverse place with people from different walks of life, competition can be also frustrating because you really get people who are very good at it and they will never become champions just because of where they come from. Because getting a visa for you to go to certain countries, it's not going to be easy. And sometimes even the time frame between you winning in the country you're representing versus the time you have to compete, you won't have enough time to organize a visa to travel. So then where is the reward? Because you will be stuck in the national and you never get to the bigger stage. So it is frustrating. I would imagine if I won, then I can't travel. It's a bit frustrating. And
it doesn't seem fair.
It is not.
And how does that make you feel as a competitor, Purity?
There's no point.
Okay. It's something that frustrates me. It angers me, right? That they could very well run World Barista competitions at Origin. They could run World Barista competitions here in Dubai or in Riyadh, so that people from this part of the world can get visas to attend these things. But they won't do that. And I don't think that that's fair to the people who are committing more money than they can afford to becoming national champions. And they're not going to get anywhere with it. And it really doesn't seem fair. And given that it doesn't seem fair, do you think it's still worth being a part of it?
I think from people I know and through our networks, even from our own team and other places, you will see people's interest is not that high anymore. Like people don't
Really?
have that hunger to keep doing it. Some people do, especially if you can afford it. You can afford buying very expensive coffee. You can afford buying very expensive gadgets, and you have the funding for it. That's fine. But like any other barista, it is challenging. It is challenging. Yeah.
Guys, do you think that you have to be in competition to get as far as that you want to get? And you guys have a very interesting perspective on this question because you work at Raw, who is very intentional about helping you figure out your career, right? Do you think that you are worse off not competing? Or do you think you need competition to have a really successful career? Or does it even get in the way of a really successful career?
I think competition just gives you exposure, and it can get you ahead, but it is not a guarantee.
Is it not a distraction sometimes?
It could be, but
Ran,
it depends.
okay. Ron, you were going to say something. Your eyes were telling me you were ready to speak.
Well, I think
Go ahead.
I think it depends upon like what do you want, like where do you want to see yourself in future. So for me, like I want to go back, right? I want to work in the farm actually, basically. So
Oh, really?
so yeah, so for me, it's competitions. I love to be there as a guest just to see what's happening. But as a competitor, never. I wouldn't say. Yeah, it depends. Like, where do you want to see yourself in futures? So yeah.
And you want to be a coffee farmer in Nepal?
Yes. Yeah, I want, and I'm watching myself. Yeah.
And so tell me, would you use competitions as a way to get the sound out about your farm, the name out about your farm when you start growing coffee?
I haven't started. Like, that's my future thing.
But one day, is that, when you think about it, would that be like a strategy that you would use to get the name out about what you're doing?
I haven't seen so far actually, because we, as a Nepal coffee market, we are like very small compared to the
Right.
UAE and Colombia, Ethiopia. So it's still like you can see, if you go to Nepal, you'll see there are like we are below like 3 times what we are supplying right now to our own market.
Right.
So it's just to fill the gap is a big job for us.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I.
Okay. What about you, On? Go ahead.
For me, actually, I want to open a cafe one day as well. Yeah, but
Awesome.
yeah, not in the like in the phase of like kind of focusing on specialty coffee. Rather than, I would say, it's gonna be like community cafe. Coffee for me right now, as I changed some perspective. I mean, during this journey, I'm gonna use it as just a medium to make a human connection. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would just stay true to that concept rather than, I'm a world barista champion or whatever. To use it as my exposure for my cafe, I would use it. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's my core right now.
So you don't need to chase that title. If your intentions are, and this is what I tell a lot of people that I mentor, figure out what you want to do. Yeah. Like you want to be a coffee farmer, or you want to own a cafe, or you want to, run a training center or whatever it is.
Yeah.
If being a barista champion isn't going to get you that, you're better off focusing that energy into learning how to run a business and going and doing a all the courses that you need to do, spending the money in that, learning how to run businesses or learning how to build a culture or, traveling to places so that you can be inspired by what they're doing to figure out the design of your cafe. This is where the money is better spent. Going in and figuring this stuff out is going to get you a lot further in life and in your career than competing against the people that are in your local community and calling it community building. Because it's not community building. There's a lot of corruption that goes on in these competitions. There's backstabbing that goes on in these competitions. People are competing against each other. And you end up with so much more drama than community. So, to end the episode on that positive note, is there anything else you guys want to say about competitions before we wrap this episode up?
I also feel like why, sometimes when you do something, you always have, what is your why? So my why was, I wanted to see more people like me compete. So more women, more people from Africa. So I really wanted to represent us because it was not something I saw a lot. Mm-hmm. So just also that representation so that it doesn't look like people like me don't know how to make a great cup of coffee. It was more of a move to show people like me actually can make a great cup of coffee.
I love that.
So that was my why.
See, to me, that sounds like, not that it's not my job to judge whether anyone does this or doesn't do that. But to me, that sounds like one of the positives of why competitions exist. It's not all negative. There are positive reasons that competitions exist. Like when I look at what they're doing in Ethiopia with regards to encouraging people to become barista champions, they're trying to bring people into the workforce. They're trying to give people an opportunity to have a skill. I think that that's fantastic. But the fact that those people will never, they'll work so hard to become national champions and they will never be allowed to compete in the World Barista Champion seems like an empty dream and an unfair proposition to put in front of them. But there are positives. So we ended on a positive note for this episode, which is great. I didn't think that was going to happen talking about coffee competitions. Okay, one episode to go, folks. We're talking in the next episode about how to be intentional about your career in coffee. So join us for that. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.